Chapter 1: The Illusion of Public Protection. For centuries, the fundamental definition of a modern nation-state has rested on a single, absolute principle, established by political theorists: the monopoly on legitimate physical violence. Citizens pay taxes, obey laws, and in return, the state provides protection through its police force and national military. This social contract has kept civilization intact for generations. However, to the world's absolute financial elite, this public safety apparatus is no longer viewed as a reliable shield. It is perceived as a critical structural vulnerability. In an era marked by rapid geopolitical instability, rising social unrest, and unpredictable government overreach, the 0.1% are coming to a dangerous realization. The state's forces will protect the state first, and the civilian population second, to secure their dynasties and their vast asset pools. Global billionaires are moving away from public infrastructure entirely. They are investing heavily in a new, terrifying frontier: private fortified sovereignty. This shift represents a total decoupling from the common grid of human security. While the middle class relies on underfunding, local police departments and standard civilian security systems, the ultra-wealthy are building independent tactical enclaves. They view their private estates, isolated islands, and high-tech corporate compounds as sovereign micronations that must possess their own defensive capabilities. This is not about hiring standard bodyguards or installing advanced alarm systems. This is the calculated acquisition of private military assets, autonomous tactical drones, and elite security contractors, capable of operating independently of any national command structure. To the financial barons of Wall Street and the oil-rich dynasties of the Middle East, the traditional laws of public protection are obsolete. They are constructing an invisible, private wall of force, ensuring that their physical wealth remains entirely non-confiscatable and bulletproof against the systemic shocks of a changing world. Chapter 2: The Rise of Private Military Conclaves. The operational foundation of private fortified sovereignty lies in the utilization of private military companies, or PMCs. These are not mere security firms. They are highly sophisticated, corporate armies, staffed by former Tier 1 special forces, operators from global intelligence and military institutions. For decades, these entities operated primarily in active war zones to protect state assets. Today, the market has shifted dramatically. The world's financial elite are now signing exclusive, multi-million-dollar defensive contracts with these shadow armies to secure their private parameters. These contracts are meticulously designed to exploit legal loopholes in international, maritime laws and local jurisdictions, establishing a reality where the private force takes precedence over local law enforcement in ultra-luxury residential zones and private islands. From the Mediterranean to the Pacific coast, these militarized enclaves operate under their own strict protocols. If a local government experiences a political coup, an economic collapse, or a sudden legal shift that mandates the seizure of billionaire assets, these private forces are ordered to defend the property against all intruders, including state authorities. By creating these private military conclaves, the elite have effectively insulated themselves from the physical reach of the nation-state. They have transformed their private property into an unassailable legal and physical fortress. In these high-tech redoubts, the authority of the state ends at the perimeter fence, replaced entirely by the private ledger of the corporation that signs the security checks. Chapter 3: Autonomous Defense Grids and the Tech Shield. As human militaries transition toward automation, the elite are applying these exact advanced technologies to their private estates. We are witnessing the emergence of the autonomous tech shield, a network of artificial intelligence, facial recognition, and automated defense drones that constantly patrol the perimeters of billionaire compounds. Unlike public surveillance grids, which are bound by privacy laws and constitutional restrictions, these private defense networks face no such limitations. They operate on proprietary algorithms designed to detect, track, and neutralize any physical threat. before it reaches the secure inner sanctuary. This ensures a level of physical isolation that makes traditional state surveillance and law enforcement intervention entirely ineffective. This technological evolution shifts the balance of physical power back into the hands of absolute capital. A physical asset, whether it is gold bullion, private data servers, or physical artwork, is only truly valuable if it can be physically defended. By deploying autonomous drone swarms, advanced thermal imaging, and electronic warfare jamming equipment around their properties, the elite are making their assets mathematically secure against physical extraction. No local court bailiff, no state tax investigator, and no civilian mob can penetrate a perimeter guarded by automated, non-human defense systems that operate on private satellite networks. This is the ultimate physical extension of capital flight, the transformation of real estate into an absolute, militarized black box. Chapter 4: Special Economic Zones and Sovereign Enclaves. To legally validate these private fortresses, the 0.1% are exploiting the concept of special economic zones and sovereign legal enclaves. Across the globe, from Central America to the Middle East, countries are desperate for foreign investment in exchange for billions of dollars in capital injections. These states are granting corporations the right to build self-governing territories with their own private courts, private tax laws, and crucially, private security police forces. These areas, known as ZEDEs or autonomous charter cities, represent the structural dissolution of the traditional nation-state. Inside these zones, the elite are building fortified master-planned communities that are completely immune to national laws. This is the macro-structural manifestation of sovereign erasure. In these enclaves, the distinction between a private corporation and a sovereign nation disappears. The elite can move their families, their wealth, and their corporate infrastructure into these zones, knowing that the local host country has legally surrendered the right to police or regulate them. These communities are secured by private military checkpoints, monitored by corporate satellites, and governed by corporate boards. It is a return to an advanced form of feudalism, where the lord's castle is replaced by a high-tech smart city, and the knights are replaced by elite contractors, armed with state-of-the-art military technology. This is the ultimate playground for global capital, a territory where wealth creates its own law, its own border, and its own physical reality. Chapter 5: The Neo-Feudal Fragmentation. What we are ultimately observing is the permanent fragmentation of the global security landscape. By purchasing their own private military infrastructure and constructing independent autonomous sanctuaries, the global elite are officially withdrawing from the collective human grid. The future will not be defined by a clean division between democratic states, but by a patchwork of highly fortified, corporate-owned micro-states existing within crumbling national borders. We are approaching a multi-tiered security reality. In the lower tier, the general public will live in increasingly volatile environments, underfunded by indebted states. In the upper tier, the biologically enhanced, asset-protected 0.1% will look down from their impregnable cliffside fortresses, entirely untouched by the chaos below. This profound reorganization of physical force will reshape the concept of human society itself. If the state no longer holds the monopoly on violence, the traditional foundation of the rule of law collapses. The social contract is replaced by a financial contract. Power will belong exclusively to those who can afford to purchase an autonomous defense shield. The elite's retreat into these fortified enclaves is the final act of their systemic secession. They are no longer just hiding their money in offshore accounts. They are hiding their physical lives behind a wall of automated fire. Is this private militarized isolation the ultimate preservation of individual liberty, or a terrifying descent into an unregulated, neo-feudal nightmare? The answer will dictate the future of human civilization. Tell us your philosophy in the comments below. Thank you for watching this investigation. Subscribe to future Prism Lab for the deeper, hidden mechanics of global wealth and elite architecture.